everyone, welcome back to Sacred Fertility Talks. We are still on Call in the Baby Journey, and today's episode, we are going to talk something juicy, cooling, and full of movement. My name is Dr. Pamela, and joining me today is one of my favorite friends, a fertility coach, and my acupuncture nerd buddy in the best way, Dr. Erin.
Yes, I'll take all the nerd credit for sure.
Yes. All right. So today is going to be hands-on. So we're going to talk about acupuncture points. So we're not doing the puncture. We're going to do the pressure, massage on the point. So there is 4 points today. Heart number 8, acupuncture point, heart number 3, and then kidney point on number 9, and also stomach 4, at the corner of your mouth. So we start with the heart 8. So I will let my friend talk about this one because this is one of her favorite point. Dr. Erin?
Hi, everybody. Heart 8. So let's just dive right in. You
Yes.
have palm of your hand. And so all of the channels of the chest, so the heart, the lungs, the pericardium, they all move from here in the chest out to the fingertips and back. So we've got this movement through the arms. So in the palm of the hand are the heart, the lung, and the pericardium entry points, the beginning or the end of the channel. So heart 8 is, well, there's 2 different locations for this one. So heart 8 is going to be in the palm, or you do the center of the palm. Which one do you like better, Pam?
I just do it like this. So I just like do my hand. I go like this right there.
That's the way I learned it too. So
Yeah.
what I learned was you go in between the 4th and 5th and you slide down until you find the groove, which is kind of the same thing that she's saying. You tuck your pinky in.
Yes.
I've heard other people say just do the center point of your hand. I don't think it really matters because what you run into is that one of these is the heart and the other one is the pericardium, and it's going up the same, they're side by side, they're parallel sisters. So you can't really get it wrong. Either way, we're going to work on this area, which is going to do exactly what I just showed you. It travels up the inside of the arm, through the elbow, up into the armpit, across the chest, and into the organ center. So using these points is going to stimulate all of that energetic movement into the heart. And these points in the hand and the points on the fingertips, they're all cooling points for the channel. You can think about it like opening the vents of the air conditioner. Needle it or you stimulate it, whatever you do, it kind of opens the channel and lets heat out. So for us ladies, whether or not you're trying to conceive or perimenopausal or whatever, we have those moments where you're like, I just feel hot. You might feel anxious. You feel like you're stuck in your chest, nervousness when it feels all tight. All of those things can be regulated through these palm points. So that's why we picked it for today, because it helps with emotions, it helps with mood, and it helps with physical flow.
Yes. So just stay tuned. We're still going to talk about the 3 other points, but at the end of this podcast, we're going to show you how we use it with Gua Sha. It's a tools. Something look like this. We're going to talk about this one at the end of this podcast. So yes, and I'm just going to add a little bit more for the heart 8. This is my favorite point, and you can use both hands. But the way that I use it with strategy and maximum benefit is because the location of the heart is on the left, I use the right hand to stimulate the point more. So you get more of the benefit of stimulating the heart point when you use it the right palm. But you can use both either way. And I normally use this one for any type of anxiety. What I mean by anxiety, sometimes you are, when you go to somewhere else and you're not familiar with the surrounding, you can like getting palpitation, like, oh my God, am I good here? Trying to find your grounding space. What I do, I just like press on it and just like a meditation, a prayer, and then take a deep breath, and then you just go around and complete whatever you like. So that's the heart 8. That's one of our favorite point, especially during summer. And moving forward for the heart 3, Erin.
So heart 3, you're going to go in that same line. You travel all the way down the arm to the outside of the elbow.
Yes.
When you straighten your arm, there's a little bone that protrudes and sticks out. Heart 3 is right in that groove. It's on the inside part of the elbow. It's not on the back. We're not at the olecranon side over here. And I bet if you put your finger on that area and roll it around, it's probably going to be a little tender.
It's always tender.
Yeah,
Yes.
tender almost everybody. And so this is interesting because when we're out here, we're in this really dynamic energy flow. These are your hands. They have tons of nerve fibers and sensory. Your hands are gathering information all the time about temperature, and you can just feel things in your hands. When you get up into this elbow, this is when we describe the channel. This is where the energy, the chi that's flowing up the arm, this is where it dives deep and it's almost like it goes underwater and it gets down into the channel. So if you think about you're playing in the water and you're up here, that's this part. But then when you dive underneath, that's what happens up here at the elbow. So it's a really dynamic movement point, but it also starts to get into the deep flow. So these points are a little bit more for the heart organ. They're working a little bit more on the organ system, not just the flow and the movement. So I find them to be where this one is clearing heat, it opens everything up. This one is more like it's like soothing. It opens the flow and settles the current a little bit. Dr. P, how do you like to talk about it?
So this is my favorite point as well. Of course, we pick this point. So if you still not sure where is that, right? It's next to your funny bones. They call it the funny bones. It's not haha bones. It's just like when you hit it, you're like, oh my gosh, right? So it's just right there, right in the middle. But normally this one is feel tender if you have what they call it. They call it tennis elbow. It's not tennis elbow, but this is literally the reason why you get tennis elbow. You probably have something going on with your heart. Not per se, it's something you probably get mad with somebody. It just show the presentation in your elbow. So that's the reason why sometimes people say, oh, I went to see everybody here and then they still cannot fix my elbow. They call it tennis elbow, blah. But when you listen, trying to understand the situation, it seems like they have an argument with their significant others or somebody, and then they're not happy with that. But when you clear the emotion, they're like, oh, it feels good. So same thing receiving pregnancy, right? Sometimes you got heated conversation because you're frustrated, because you're not, whatever you do is still failing. Again, we have to think back and go back inward. And this point basically help you, like Erin said, moving deeper and find out the actual or the actual conversation within you and yourself. Right, Erin?
And let's also say, because I find this to be important for women especially, the way that these channels move up through the bicep, the opening of the heart is the armpit.
Yes.
So the heart number 1, where the heart channel actually exits and starts the flow down the arm, is in the well of the armpit. So a lot of times women will talk about they have a different smell or their sweat is different, but this is also one reason why we don't want to use a lot of products that obstruct it, right? You don't necessarily want to block up everything here. Obviously, we don't want to stink, but putting on a bunch of stuff that keeps you from sweating all the time can block the heart energy flow too.
That's
So
right.
working these channels, working these elbow points helps the flow that comes up into this armpit, which is also good for lymphatic drainage and the movement and that circulation through the chest.
Yes. Perfect. Yes, so this is one of the best point for summer as well. If you're not trying to receive pregnancy, but you are feeling hot because you are currently going through perimenopause, menopause, this is a AC unit over here. So at night, you can just massage it, gua sha it, right? It makes you cooler. Natural AC unit. Yes. All right, moving forward. So this is kidney 9. So kidney 9, acupuncture kidney 9 is also known as the beautiful baby point. So It's on the leg. It's on the medial side of your leg. So we're not going to show our legs, but we're going to show a diagram for this so everybody can see it.
I'm glad because I was like, well, I can hike my pants up, but I don't know if I can back up that high.
Let's see. Let's share this one. Share screen.
So we'll show you this picture while she's pulling that up, but also it's not a real hard point to find. There's a natural crevice that we'll point out to you on this picture. But if you just imagine, when you feel the back of your leg, you've got the bulge where your gastrocnemius muscle is, the calf muscles. So if you go to the inside part of the leg where that calf muscle connects to moving down towards your shin, there's just a natural landing strip right there. That calf muscle tendon is inserting, and then you have the long, smooth section of the Achilles tendon. So if you're at the ankle and the back of the knee, you're going to find this point about halfway in this little valley that's created at those two places. So when we show it to you on the chart, here we
So right there. So it's inside of your legs. It's a medial side of your legs, inner ankle. This is your, and then you follow the line from behind your ankle all the way up before it meets to your gastroc, your calf muscle.
Yep.
So you're gonna feel, most people, if they have problem with the tendons or something going on, right? This tendon over here, it gets ropey. So, and the reason why they use this point, they call this point as a beautiful baby point because this is where the yin meet the yang. So another way to understand it, this is where your heart energy and your kidney energy meet. So the fire meets the water. So it makes it beautiful when the water shift the fire, it comes in the full circle. That's why they call it beautiful baby point.
And so when we talk about this one, anybody that there's a very particular sensation that people will say, oh, when I get nervous, I get butterflies in my stomach. And it's sort of like, it's right below my heart. It's kind of where my tummy is. And it'll just feel unsettled. You might feel a little queasy, but it's always when I'm nervous.
Yes.
This point that Dr. Pamela is showing is magic for that particular feeling. So anybody that gets that kind of fluttering anxiety and has stomach issues, one, if you palpate it and you poke around, it's going to be tender. And two, when you look at this point on the paper, it makes it look like this, right? It's a sticker on top, but that's not really what a point is. So if you think about this is a point, what we're actually talking about is the three-dimensional space underneath it. So if you just rub your finger on it and you don't feel anything, well, that's normal. What you really want to do is hunker down, push down into that spot. Take your thumb and put a little pressure and move around that area where the picture is. And then that whole zone might be a little bit tender. So it's just this one precise thing. Think about it more like a junction where all these different energies are connected. And so you can roll around on it. And then usually you'll be like, oh, it's really tender there. So then you can just work on that. But don't feel like, oh, it's right here. Go below that.
Another things that you're gonna be expecting, another expected result, if you have a tight scapular blade, sometimes you said, oh, it just feels tight at the back. This is a very good point for that. So if you like massage the tendon going up instead of going down, with what Erin was just telling us just now, just gently massaging it up, right? You can feel the release right away on your scapular blade, which is amazing, but you can try it at home. Yes, and it's safe for pregnancy. So that's the thing. It's safe for pregnancy. You're not gonna abort the baby if you do this massage. All right, that's very good. And then our last point. Oh, let me just add one more thing. I just remember for kidney 9. So I was just telling Dr. Erin just now because I've been reading a little bit research on kidney 9. The other benefit of kidney 9 is heavy metal detox. So what I mean by this is basically if you had a tooth filling, dental filling, or you have too much vaccination, this is normally palpable on the kidney 9. So normally what I do in a clinical setting, I combine that with other many points to just help the body detox the metal naturally. So the last point is stomach 4. So this is my favorite one as well. Of course, all 4 is our favorites. So it's located at the corner of your mouth. So right there, both sides. So you want to talk about this, Dr. Erin?
Sure.
Yes.
So I love the translation of this. Life, receive a baby. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
There's all these cool things in Chinese medicine where we'll take, what is that called? When you overlap the systems, imaging system.
Yes.
So you might say, let's image the face on the hand, but you can also do that in other ways. So this is sort of like imaging the trunk on the face. So
Mhm.
what we find is that this area around the mouth corresponds to fertility. Uh,
Mhm.
you can use it to treat the uterus and the ovaries. You can even use it to treat genital problems.
Yes.
Problems like postpartum, women who've had tearing and problems after baby. Like we don't always want to go down there and needle those things, but there are other
No.
parts of the body that you work on to facilitate that flow. So that's kind of why we picked this one, because it's easy access, but it's
Mhm.
going to take us into that deep internal level.
Yes. That's a beautiful explanation. Yes. So another way I use this is if you're not trying to get pregnant or receive pregnancy or going through menopause, this is my favorite point for knee pain, NEE, knee. And also, this is very good for those that have a phantom limb pain. So they don't have that knee anymore, but they still feel the pain over there. So you have to use the imaging, like Dr. Erin was telling us just now. You have to use the imaging. So you basically telling the brain, right? We can release the pain, reduce the pain by using an alternative point to help with the current pain. So that
That is
this is
so cool.
Yes, this is so amazing. Just with acupuncture point, right? You'll be able to relieve the pain right away. So literally, you have a problem, we have the solution kind of thing. Right?
Let's have something.
Yes.
So I
All right.
always say, just to further that, I
Yes.
really didn't think about it until we were talking. We
Yes.
always talk about receiving pregnancy and how do
Yes.
we receive into our bodies. One way is through our mouth. So this is, your mouth has everything to do with your stomach channel and your whole digestive flow. So that's where we bring things in. But the stomach channel is also the sea of qi and blood. It's
Mhm.
qi and blood is created and it's most abundant. So to open the doors of reception into the sea of qi and blood, it just has this really beautiful energetic picture about taking things in. So
Mhm.
we can use that point to think about, I receive this into me when you're
Mhm.
working.
And another way to look at it is part of vocalization. You have to talk with your mouth, right? So I receive the pregnancy. If you don't have mouth, you're not gonna say anything. So literally, so that's the basically the point for that. It's powerful point.
Mhm.
Very good. All right. So that's the 4 acupuncture points that you can use at home. But now we're gonna do the demo, the live demonstration. So let's start with the heart 8. So there you go. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm going to use, I love this little tool. And so Pamela has one. I have one. You can buy
Yes.
them.
I have my roller. This is
Yep.
the jade roller. And then I have my own Gua Sha tool over here. And Erin has 2 of hers.
And they're everywhere. I think you can get them at TJ Maxx these days. They're just,
Yes.
and they can be made of all different kinds of things. It doesn't really matter. When I'm at work, I actually have one that's like 25 years old that's made of bone and it's really,
Yes.
so just whatever. And if you don't have this, you can use a spoon. You just
Mm.
want something that has a soft but strong edge to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the ones that you eat miso soup with in the restaurant.
Yes.
Those.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like to do, because I was saying, I don't think about it as one point. If you're doing acupressure, you might do the pinky test or come down the bones, and here's the point. There's a line on your hand right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just do pressure and you can just roll. I use the tip and you can put it in there and you can roll around. And I'm telling you, if you get to the right level, it's usually going to be like, oh, I can feel that feels. But one thing I also like to do is remember, like, it's the flow of energy. So if you can work on it and then go up and down the channel a little bit. Move the energy, open the point by doing that circle, and then flow that released energy through the channel, and then open it up and then flow it. And because your hands are the way that they are, there's a lot of connective tissue in here. You might find little gritty spots,
Yes.
little spots where it feels like, and that's just kind of stagnation.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's tension, right? We're always using our hands. So if you find one of those little knobs or nodules, you're not going to work it out in one sitting. You don't have to crush it. All you want to do is comb it. You just kind of gently, you're working on the surface. Don't try to get to the belly of the beast in one go. Just let it flow, go lightly, but then go back to that spot the next time you do it and just keep working on it. And usually those things will just soften and open up a little bit.
Yes, I do the same thing too. Normally, I just follow, just gua sha the whole hand. Then you focus on this one like that.
Yeah. And like we said, the whole hand connects to this chest area. So you don't have to be precious and you don't have to be precise. Like I said, you can, this part out here has a lot of good stuff. The thumb has a lot of good stuff. So just open the whole thing up and you should really notice within just a few seconds or minutes, oh, I feel a little better. I feel a little different. It's soothing.
I just want to add a little bit. So we didn't talk about the gua sha. So gua sha, whatever you use, right? The reason why we choose this jade gua sha because it's heavy and it has the energy of the jade, right? It's just cooling. So when you move it, right, you move the lymphatic as well. So you're not just like moving the massaging the point. You massage the lymphatic. So it basically you have to send it back to the heart so the heart can do the circulation. So you can sweat properly and you can pee properly. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's about heartache. So when do you supposed to do this?
Is this a trick question?
Yes.
Oh, right now.
Yes.
Heart hours of the day. If you look at the Chinese clock right now, it's noon where we are. The sun is at its peak. That's when the heart channel is most abundant. So this is a good time of day to work on this.
Yes.
You can do it anytime.
Yes.
Let's maximize our things. So you can put it on your calendar, lunch break, Gua Sha. And then you just spend a few minutes working on these points that we're giving you. 5 minutes is plenty.
If you're working on office desk, right, you can spare some 5 minutes just to help with your hand and finger because you're on the keyboard most of the time. Very easy. Don't think too hard. Just do it. Yes.
And anybody that's got carpal tunnel or other things, this is so good for that because you have all these tendons on the inside of the palm. So if you just get in there and open them up a little bit, it spreads the energy out and lets the hands open and relax, stretches for your palm.
Yes. Nicely. So moving forward for the next point, heart 3. Yes. So heart 3, you see this, well, my gua sha looks like this. So I like to use this point in between. So you just do the gua sha runway like this. You can also just massage it locally, or you can just pull it up to your heart area, to the chest, meaning it drain the lymphatic as well. Or if you want to do the whole elbow as well, you can do that, especially those that complain of tennis elbow, pain in the olecranon. See, if you can see it, mine has a little bit redness. So meaning I have a little bit heat in my heart. Kind of that thing.
And as I'm doing mine, most of it feels okay. And then there's one spot that really goes, ow. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to settle in on that one spot and just really gently work on it. It's kind of, and after a few seconds, that ow should open up a little bit.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm not going to grind away on it and bruise it or make it bitter. It's just like there's some stagnant flow or some heat there. I'm going to work on it. And then I just move on. And then the next time I come back to it, it'll probably feel a little bit less noticeable. And you just a little bit more. So you're gently opening up the flow up the channel.
Layer by layer.
Right.
Yes. So little bit pinkish after the Gua Sha is perfectly fine. Sometimes you're gonna get a dark redness, which is also fine. So just don't go. What's that?
If you have that dark spot, you're not
Yeah.
doing anything wrong. It just
Yeah.
means there's a lot of static blood there. Like
Yes.
energy is really congested, and when you start circulating it, it comes up to the surface. So don't be alarmed, but don't feel like you don't have to try to get to that place. It might not.
Yes. Perfect. Good. So moving forward to the third point, kidney 9. So normally, how do you use this one, Erin?
So kind of the same as the heart 9. First, I like to use my tool. I'm going to just use my. So if I was on the calf, it'd be
Yes.
kind of right here where the seam of my shirt is. So I like to go close first and go to the local area and see if there's tenderness. And then I'll just work on the tender spot and do a little circular rotation, just kind of opening it up. And then I like to flick through the channel,
Yes.
open it up a little bit, and then spread that out through the channel. That's normally how I would work on kidney 9.
I use the same thing. So just go local first, try to disperse or relaxes the muscle so you can move the lymphatic or move the tight tendon so they can go, they open up a little bit and you feel relaxed. You feel the effect right away.
And if
So
it's
normally, yes.
there, that's okay. Just use that side edge and just scrape that little zone. If it's not tender, that's fine.
How heavy you go in, it's up to you. But I like to go very gentle on the surface because you can see the result right away. But some people like to go like so hard, right? So, well, I don't do that. So we just go like Dr. Erin said, you go until you feel like, oh, you notice that the little bit greediness, right? Like a sand feeling, but you just move on layer by layer. That's how you do it.
I think a lot of people are trained into this idea of deep tissue massage, right?
Oh,
If
yes.
something is stuck, you go in there and it's hard and aggressive and it's painful and you've got to work it out. But the way that Chinese medicine uses Gua Sha is not like that. It's a little bit more if you just open up the flow and release some of that energy into the system, it will do it itself. Energy is stuck. So if you think about it in terms of water, energy is in a hole, it's stuck in there. So you activate it and bring the energy up and then flush the drain. And then the water will just flow through the channel and you didn't have to go in and excavate it, digging it out with a shovel. So when you go to the beach and you dig and there's water and then there's no more water. So you don't have to work that hard. You just open up the flow and then over time it'll move it itself. Just different approaches.
Yes, perfect. Last number 4, stomach 4. Eat live, receive baby.
I love
Yes.
it. All right. So if this were me, if you're just going to do really superficial, you don't necessarily need to add anything. But the skin of the face is tender. So you might want to use a cream. This is just like a serum that I use. Dr. Pamela has a tallow product that she loves. So if you're going to do just this point, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're going to work on your whole face, you definitely want to use some sort of a lubricant to make it slide really nice and easily. So I'll put a little dab, but the slipperiness is good. So I'm going to put a little here. Now, you've got all these edges and grooves. I use this, can you see that? This sort of upper corner where it's nice and soft and you don't work hard. Again, you're not smashing your face. You just gently pull the energy away. You're smiling. You're going to lift it up a little bit and go up. It's very simple. You don't have to be
Very gentle.
right
Yes.
around the mouth. And also, this little point in here has a lot of fertility action.
Oh, yes. The philtrum. Yes.
Get in there and do the whole thing. So, and this Gua Sha tool is just the right size. Honestly, you can do a whole zone. Just be really kind to your skin and see how I'm getting that little bit of pink, a little bit of flush. That's okay. That just means like you're activating that energy. You can see a little bit of heat at the surface.
And you get the double benefit of stimulating the collagen.
Right. And since
Yes.
we all want to be beautiful and live forever,
Yes.
little facial gua sha does a lot of different things, but you definitely want to hit the little mouth point.
Yes.
Dr. Pamela, what do you want to add to that?
Well, Erin used serum, so I love to use tallow butter. So we make our own. So my staff make this one. We did our own R&D, research and development. So that's how we ended up. So it looks like this. So what I do, I just like Erin, put a little bit there, right? And instead, you can use the Gua Sha tool, right? Just like what Dr. Erin was showing us just now. I like to use this side. So you get stimulating the point over there. Or you can use the roller. If you like lazy, you can use the roller. So
And
you
I
kind of
love
like
the
just,
roller when it's hot. If I'm hot, I keep my roller in the refrigerator and I like
yes,
it so good. If you're hot, if you have a sunburn, any kind of,
yes,
and like see how she's pulling her face? Don't yank it back, but give it a little tension and it just smooths out the surface a little bit so you can get into that point a little bit more. You do the same thing, just gently.
just move the lymphatic. So again, the focus is over here, but this one has to connect with this one. Many acupuncture points on the face, but our focus is there. So
The whole face is covered with
yeah,
acupuncture points that go
yeah,
all over the body. So there's nothing wrong with saying, here's my primary,
yeah,
but then we're going to just do moving the lymph. And that
yeah.
excites all the channels into your feet, channels into your digestive system. So that's the beauty of these Chinese medicine and some of these other medicines makes everything better. So doing a little of this and a little of that makes everything better.
Yes. So that's the demo. So hopefully you guys can have spare some times to take care of yourself. It's very easy while you're watching TV in the evening, after dinner, or before you go to work, when you're in the bathroom, 5 minutes. It's very easy. So you look radiant when you see people, and they're gonna be asking you all these tips.
And you might make a habit where you say, I'm going to do all the points. So, do the face points, then come down to your hand and work on your palm, go to your elbow, and then go down and do that point on the calf. You can do that whole series and just and stimulated that whole trajectory, which is going to really help with the cooling of the summer and keeping your internal temperature chill.
Yes. Perfect. Good job, Ed. So, all right. So we at the end of our podcast. Do you wanna add anything, Dr. Erin?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
that's it for today.
Yes. All right. So final reminder for everybody. So when you move your limb, you calm your heart. And then you're creating a space that something beautiful to arrive. Not just a baby. It could be your book, your career, whatever it is.
Right.
So keep rolling the Gua Sha, keep
Yep.
breathing, and keep call in the baby. And then and thank you so much, Dr. Erin. And we shall see you guys next week. Take care for now.